Hello, my name is Dan Tucker. I'm the Director of Studies for Preclinical Medicine at Pembroke College in Cambridge. The role of a Director of Studies is really to help our students navigate the course. So from day one, on the day that folks arrive in Cambridge of year one, right the way through to the end of their third year, when I, as Preclinical Director of Studies, hand over our Pembroke students to the Clinical Director of Studies, that's Professor Mena Clatworthy. So when I'm not being a Director of Studies, I'm really interested in infectious diseases, and particularly those infectious diseases that move from animals to humans. This is a really interesting area, given that many human infectious diseases we now know have their origins in animals. We're really closely located to all of the lecture rooms and labs where you'll do your preclinical learning and teaching. The second thing I'd say, though, about Pembroke is that we have a really close and collegial atmosphere across our year groups. We have about 8 medical students in each year. And over the first 3 years, you'll get really involved in what's going on, not only in your year group, but in the year groups around you, because we have a really active college, medical and veterinary societies. So it's a great way to get to know everyone. We support your learning through the preclinical years by helping you with small group teaching sessions called supervisions. The other thing I would say more generally about the course in Cambridge, though, is that it's a relatively traditional course. The first 3 years, preclinical years, are spent building the fundamental knowledge of what's normal in terms of anatomy, physiology, cell biology, and then you gradually progress to become into the paraclinical world, and then in the final 3 years of the clinical course. So you'll build that confidence from a fundamental core understanding rather than jumping in with lots of problem-based learning on day one. That's not to say you don't have any contact with patients from year one. You certainly do, and we have a Preparing for Patients course that starts in year one. But we are a relatively traditional course. It's very much evidence-based, and there's a strong theme of research, and we really want you to think about research and maybe to engage in research. In your third year, you'll have an intercalated year where you'll get to do a project of your own. At Cambridge, it's part of the integral course. So in terms of careers after qualifying from Cambridge, of course, a lot of people go through the clinical track, postgraduate, and many of those folks will go into what we call research clinician roles as well, where they develop an active interest in research and may go on to do a PhD and then to lead research and join a lot of the cutting edge, world-leading research that happens in Cambridge and in other parts of the UK as well. Key things I would say in terms of tips for your application, first of all, to focus on the admissions test. And it is really competitive to get into medicine at Cambridge. So you do need to focus on your pre-interview admissions test. Do as well as you can in that by looking at past paper examples and following the advice on the official websites for those admissions tests. The other thing I would say, though, is be yourself at interview and in your personal statement. Show that you've understood the challenges and opportunities of the profession. If it's possible to get work experience, that's great, but we know that that's not possible for everyone. But try and get yourself into situations where you have been able to understand what those challenges and opportunities are, so that you can talk about those and maybe convey your interest in getting beneath the superficial level and understanding the questions and the challenges and perhaps the research questions that we face, and as we try and take the coal face of the profession forwards.